Let's go cover two. The Miami Dolphins could easily change their name if they wanted to the Miami Wildcats. Why not? After all, it was the Wildcat that took them from 1-15 to division champs last year, and it was the same Wildcat that has put them right back in the thick of the AFC East race now after their big win over the Jets on Monday night. And for more on the Wildcat and other NFL news and notes from around the league, we welcome in our Cover 2 team today, Jeff Darlington of the Miami Herald and Rick Stroud of the St. Petersburg Times. And Jeff, we'll start with you. How effective were the Dolphins on Monday night when they ran the Wildcat formation?
Well, get this, Jay. After 18 consecutive games in which the Dolphins have used the Wildcat at least once, they used it more on Monday night than they have ever used it before. 16 times for 110 combined yards on offense. And considering it happened against Rex Ryan, the guy who seemed to have the answer last year when he was the defensive coordinator with the Ravens, that kind of shows that there might be some long-term legitimacy to this package. If you look at what they averaged, 6.6 yards per carry since its inception. They've run it 136 times for 901 yards. The even more staggering part about this is this year they're averaging 7.1 yards per play on 45 different snaps out of the Wildcat. So suggests to me that this Wildcat package might really not be a gimmick, and it might really be here to stay.
Well, the numbers certainly don't lie. Rick, what's the latest on former Giant and Super Bowl hero David Tyree and his signing with the Ravens?
Jay, it's amazing how fast you can go from Super Bowl hero to zero in this league, and that's what happened to him. You know, he had the knee injury last year, on injured reserve, cut loose by the Giants, was bouncing around from workouts. In fact, he was in Tampa on Tuesday, ran just 2 routes before getting word that he was signing with the Baltimore Ravens. And for Tyree, this was a new experience and a humbling one, of course. But now he's with the Ravens. He says, you know, my helmet that I wore with the Giants, always my saving grace. Now he has a new helmet to wear on Sunday.
Jeff, what can you tell us about the Broncos' new Wildcat formation and how it differs from the Wildcat?
Yeah, since I've become the resident expert on the Wildcat, I figured I'd tell you a little bit about the new one, the Wild Horses. This is a new formation they're using out in Denver. They ran it on the opening series against the Patriots. The same team, by the way, that was victimized by the Wildcat first last year. And what happens here is that Kyle Orton spreads out into one of the skill positions, and he has the option. If he reads the defense and likes what he sees, he can come back under center. And what that does is it causes the Patriots who come out of their huddle, when they see Wildcat, they have to audible to that. If Orton comes back over, it requires them to go back into their initial formation, sometimes throws them off. An aggressive defense like the Patriots can find themselves being a little bit on their heels in that situation. It worked well for 2 reasons. It allowed the Patriots defense to be a little off guard, and it also allowed Orton to see the defense from a skill position, which is a rare look for any quarterback. So something they could do a little bit more of down the road as well.
A new wrinkle to a new wrinkle. Bucks are 0-5. When should we expect to see the first-round pick Josh Freeman starting at quarterback?
Jay, it should be very soon. He's getting close. They almost played him in Philadelphia in the 4th quarter on Sunday, but that blitz package was a little too much. A key is Jeff Fain. You know, he comes back after missing a month with a triceps injury. He's the center. They want to make sure he's in there. And really, if you look at it, next week they play in London. After that, they have a bye week. Look for Freeman to get plenty of reps with that. And Derek Ward, who was with Eli Manning as a rookie, he says that Freeman's way ahead of Manning at that same point in his career, so he's getting very close.
Jeff, let's stick with the Broncos. What did the Denver defensive end Vonnie Holliday do in the offseason to stay in shape?
Well, you know, Vonnie Holliday might be the perfect example of why anybody with 10-plus years of experience should not go through training camp. The guy, I talked to him yesterday for quite a while, and he was talking about how signing at the end of training camp and actually right before the season turned out to be a blessing in disguise. He did a lot of yoga, a lot of underwater cardio, and a lot of different exercises that took the pressure off of his joints. There's 2 benefits to that. Not only does the old guy he can play a little bit longer coming out with that fumble-causing sack against Tom Brady at midfield with 1:45 left in the most recent game, but it also has allowed him to adjust to the altitude of Denver. So, you know, he really feels like he's got a nice presence out there, a nice force, enjoying his time with an undefeated team.
Rick, final note, Julius Peppers had 2 sacks against the Redskins on Sunday. Why did he struggle for the Panthers in the first 3 games?
Well, you know, talking to John Fox, he said that he didn't. I think there's a lot of expectations on Peppers. Look, he's a franchise player. They're paying him $16 million. That's $1 million a game. During that losing streak, he had just 1 sack and 10 tackles. But his teammate, John Beeson, kind of called him out on a radio show. He had seen Jared Allen have 4.5 sacks on Monday night. Said he was going to have a talk with Peppers. It must have worked. He had the 2 sacks and 3 quarterback pressures. So now he has the numbers with what he's been doing, which is playing pretty well.
Good work if you can get it, $1 million a game. All right, Jeff Darlington, Rick Stroud, thanks for the cover, too.
Thank you, Jay.
More